Title: The Forgotten City. Chapter 1: Whispers in the Green. The Zarathian jungle was a living beast, its canopy a tangled crown of green that devoured the sky. Vines coiled around ancient kapok trees, their bark slick with moss, while the air thrummed with a chorus of unseen insects and the distant screeches of macaws. Alara Voss hacked through the undergrowth with her machete, sweat beading on her sun-scorched skin. At 32, she was wiry and weathered, her hazel eyes sharp as flint, missing nothing. An archaeologist by trade, a dreamer by nature, she'd spent a decade chasing whispers of the heart of eternity, an artifact said to hold knowledge beyond imagination, buried in a forgotten city no map dared mark. The rumors were old as dust, a gem pulsing with cosmic secrets, hidden deep in uncharted wilds, its power so vast it had toppled the civilization that forged it. Every tale ended the same, a warning of a price too steep to name. Alara didn't care. Knowledge was her lifeblood, worth any cost. She'd unearthed the clue that brought her here, a tattered parchment in a Lisbon archive, its ink faded but its promise clear. The city lay beyond the Zarathian's heart. Her team trailed her, each step a testament to their trust or their madness. Milo Tanner, the botanist, was a lanky man with a nervous laugh, his notebook stuffed with sketches of rare flora. He adjusted his glasses, muttering about humidity ruining his samples. Kalia Wren, the engineer, was a pillar of calm, her dark braids swinging as she carried a pack of explosives and tools, her faith in Alara unspoken but ironclad. Torrin Gage, the ex-soldier turned guide, brought up the rear, his grizzled face etched with scars, his rifle slung low as he scanned the jungle with a predator's eye. They'd been hacking through this wilderness for 3 weeks, the map's cryptic lines their only guide. There, Milo's voice cut through the drone of cicadas, pointing to a shadow in the green. A crumbling archway loomed, half swallowed by roots, its stone carved with glyphs worn smooth by time. Alara knelt, tracing the symbols with calloused fingers, her lips moving as she translated. The heart claims what you hold dear. Turn back or be unmade. Torn spat into the dirt. Sounds like a trap. Everything worth finding is, Alara said, stepping through. Beyond the arch, the jungle parted like a curtain, revealing the forgotten city. Towers of obsidian and jade stabbed through the canopy, their surfaces etched with spiraling runes that caught the dappled light. Bridges of cracked stone spanned chasms where rivers once roared, now dry beds of dust and bone. The air buzzed with an unnatural stillness, as if the city held its breath. Alara's chest tightened with awe and dread. This was no myth, it was real, and it was hers to claim. Chapter 2: Shadows of the Lost. They pressed into the streets, vines snaking over their boots. The city unfolded in layers of ruin, plazas with shattered statues of robed figures, their eyes hollow. Aqueducts choked with silt, homes collapsed into themselves, their hearths cold. Kalia rigged ropes to cross a collapsed bridge, her hands steady as she tied knots over 100-foot drop into shadow. Milo sketched furiously, muttering about extinct orchids carved into a wall. Torrin stayed silent, his grip tight on his rifle, every rustle in the foliage drawing his gaze. The first trap struck without warning. Alara's boot pressed a stone that clicked, and the ground rumbled. Spikes erupted from the pavement, their tips gleaming with a greenish sheen, ancient poison. She dove, shoving Milo aside as a barb grazed her arm, drawing a thin line of blood. Pain flared, sharp and hot, but she gritted her teeth, rolling to her feet. Keep moving. Eyes open. Milo clutched his chest, panting. You could have warned me this place hates us. It doesn't hate us, Alara said, inspecting her wound. It's testing us. Hours bled into days. They navigated a labyrinth of dangers, dart throwers triggered by unseen wires, their tips dripping with venom, pits lined with stakes, hidden under brittle tiles, altars inscribed with riddles in a tongue Alara pieced together from fragments of her studies. Each step revealed the city's story. Murals in a sunken hall showed a civilization that worshipped the stars, their priests wielding the heart to unlock truths of the cosmos, maps of galaxies, prophecies of storms. But the final panels were grim, skies torn open, people fleeing as shadows devoured them, the heart glowing at the center of their doom. Whatever it had given them, it had taken more. Alara paused before a cracked fresco, her fingers brushing the image of a priest clutching the gem, his face twisted in ecstasy and terror. They thought they could control it, she murmured. They were wrong. Kalia glanced over. And you think we're different? We're smarter, Alara said, though doubt flickered in her chest. We have to be. Chapter 3. The River's Jaws. On the second day, they faced the river. A torrent of black water cut through the city, its banks lined with crocodilian shapes that snapped at the air, their eyes glinting like coins in the murk. Alara studied the current, then pointed to a rope bridge swaying 50 feet above, its planks rotted and fraying. That's our way. Kalia frowned, testing a rope. It'll collapse under two of us. Then we go one at a time, Alara said, stepping onto the first plank. It creaked, swaying as wind howled through the chasm. She moved with a dancer's grace, her heart pounding as fibers snapped beneath her. Halfway across, a plank gave way, and she lunged, catching the ropes as her legs dangled over the jaws below. Torrin cursed, but she hauled herself up, reaching the far side. Next, Milo nearly fainted crossing, his hands trembling as he clutched the ropes, muttering prayers to gods he didn't believe in. Kalia moved like a machine, her steps precise, her eyes fixed ahead. Torrin strode over as if it were solid ground, his face a mask of grim determination. On the other side, they collapsed, breathing hard. You're insane, Milo wheezed, wiping sweat from his brow. All of you. Alara grinned, though her arm throbbed. You're still here, aren't you? He groaned, but a faint smile tugged at his lips. Torrin clapped his shoulder. Kid's tougher than he looks. The river behind them roared, a reminder of the stakes. Alara turned toward a tower looming ahead, its spiral stairs intact but shadowed. The city wasn't done with them yet. Chapter 4. Echoes in the Stone. Inside the tower, a trap awaited, a door sealed with a riddle carved into its surface. I speak without a mouth, weep without eyes. What am I? Alara paced, muttering. Wind? No, too simple. A river. She glanced at the dry aqueducts visible through a cracked window. No, a cloud. She pressed a glyph shaped like a droplet, and the door groaned open, revealing a stairwell descending into darkness. Kalia raised an eyebrow. "How do you do that?" "Years of digging up dead languages," Alara said, leading them down. The stairs spiraled into a chamber lined with more murals, scenes of the city's golden age, its people thriving under starlit skies, then crumbling as the heart's power turned against them. Torin traced a finger over a depiction of a soldier, his expression unreadable. "Reminds me of home," he said quietly. "War took everything there too." Alara glanced at him, surprised. Torin rarely spoke of his past, only hints of a soldier's life, battles lost, comrades buried. "This isn't your war," she said. "Feels like it," he replied, shouldering his rifle. Milo shivered, clutching his notebook. "I just want to get out of here alive." "Plants don't shoot at you." "They don't," Kalia agreed, her voice steady. "But we're here for her." She nodded at Alara, a silent vow. The air grew heavier as they descended, the promise of the heart pulling them onward, its shadows stretching back through time. Chapter 5. Wraiths of Warning. The third day brought them to the temple, a monolithic pyramid crowned with a crystal dome, pulsing faintly with violet light. Its steps were steep, flanked by statues of eyeless guardians clutching spears. Inside, the air buzzed with something alive, the walls shimmering with inscriptions. Knowledge is a flame that burns the hand that holds it. Alara's heart raced. They were close, but they weren't alone. A gunshot cracked the silence, and Torin spun, firing into the shadows. Figures emerged, mercenaries in black gear, led by a man with a predator's grin. Darius Kane, Alara's rival, a treasure hunter who'd shadowed her career for years, stealing finds and leaving bodies in his wake. His dark hair was slicked back, his eyes glinting with greed beneath a battered hat. "Alara Voss," he drawled, holstering his pistol. "Always one step ahead until now." "You're late," she snapped, her team closing ranks. "This isn't yours to take." Darius laughed, his 10 mercenaries fanning out, rifles trained. "The heart's power isn't for dusty museums. It's for the strong. Step aside, or we'll bury you here." Tension crackled. Torin aimed at Darius's chest, but Alara held up a hand. "We've lost enough to this place. Leave, Darius. The heart's not what you think." He smirked. "We'll see." The standoff shattered as a mercenary tripped a trap. A slab slid open, releasing a swarm of spectral shapes, wraith-like echoes of the city's dead. They shrieked, their forms shimmering with rage, clawing at the living. Alara's team scattered, fighting alongside Darius's men in a frantic melee. She swung her machete, the blade passing through the wraiths, useless, but Kalia's flares drove them back, their light banishing the shadows. Torin fired bursts, more instinct than effect, while Milo cowered, shielding his head. Darius stood apart, watching, calculating. The heart was his obsession, a prize to sell or wield. He'd lost 3 men to the jungle already, their screams haunting him, but greed drowned his doubt. When the last wraith faded, 2 mercenaries lay dead, Milo nursing a gash. Darius glared at Alara. "This changes nothing. The heart's mine." "Then you'll die for it," she said, turning toward the pyramid's heart. Chapter 6. The Heart's Lore. The chamber at the pyramid's core was a cavern of crystal, the walls refracting light into a kaleidoscope of colors, blues, purples, gold swirling like nebulae. At its center, on a pedestal of black stone, sat the heart of eternity, a fist-sized gem, its facets alive with galaxies, pulsing like a heartbeat. It whispered promises of infinite wisdom, tugging at Alara's mind. Her breath caught. This was it. The pedestal was ringed with traps, pressure plates, glyphs glowing with menace. Kalia knelt, studying them. One wrong move, and this place collapses. Maybe worse. Then we're careful, Alara said, stepping forward. Darius shoved past, his mercenaries covering her team. No more games. He reached for the heart, ignoring the warnings. The floor shuddered, and a beam of light shot from the gem, striking him. He froze, eyes wide, then screamed, a sound of pure terror, raw and guttural. When it faded, he stumbled back, clutching his head. I saw everything. Too much. Alara seized the moment, darting to the pedestal. Her fingers hovered over the heart, its whispers flooding her. Take me. Know all. The murals, the traps, the wraiths. They screamed of consequence. She thought of her team. Milo's dreams of a quiet life, Kalia's unspoken sacrifices, Torin's haunted past. She thought of her own failures, digs that ended in ruin, colleagues lost to her ambition. What would this knowledge cost them? Darius, what did you see? She demanded. He laughed, a broken sound, his hands trembling. The end. Mine. Yours. Everyone's. It's too big. Time unraveling, cities burning, stars falling. I saw my death, over and over. Chapter 7 Shatterpoint. Milo grabbed her arm, his voice shaking. Alara, don't. We've lost enough, my arm, our sanity. Let it go. Torin nodded, his rifle lowered. Some things should stay buried. I've seen enough graves. But Kalia met her gaze, steady as stone. If you take it, use it right. For us, not just you. Make it mean something. Darius lunged, drawing a knife from his boot. If I can't have it, no one will. Torin tackled him, the two grappling as mercenaries opened fire. Bullets ricocheted off crystal, shattering facets into glittering dust. Alara ducked, the heart inches away. She could end this, claim it, outsmart them all, wield its power to reshape the world. Or destroy it and let its secrets die. The chamber shook, cracks spidering up the walls, the dome fracturing overhead. Time was running out. Alara's mind raced. Knowledge was her life, her purpose, but power without purpose had ruined this city. She saw her father's face, a memory from years ago, his voice gentle. Curiosity's a gift, Alara, but it's not worth your soul. Could she wield the heart without breaking everything she loved? She made her choice. Grabbing a flare from Kalia's pack, she ignited it, the hiss of magnesium filling the air. She pressed it to the heart, her hands steady despite the tremor in her chest. The gem flared, a supernova of light exploding outward, its whispers turning to a wail. It shattered, fragments raining like stars, and a wave of energy knocked them all back. Alara, her team, Darius, his men. The pyramid groaned, collapsing inward, the crystal walls buckling. "Run!" Alara shouted. They fled, stumbling over debris as stones fell, dust choking the air. Torin dragged Milo, Kalia hauled her pack, and Alara pulled Darius's arm, his fight gone. They burst into the jungle as the temple sank behind them, swallowed by the earth, its violet glow snuffed out. Chapter 8. Dust and Stars. Silence fell, broken only by their ragged breaths. Darius glared at her, bloodied but alive, his mercenaries limping behind. "You're fool, Voss. That was everything. Power, wealth, eternity." "No," she said, meeting his eyes. "It was too much." He spat into the dirt and turned, limping away with his men, vanishing into the green. Alara faced her team. Milo smiled weakly, clutching his bandaged arm. Kalia nodded, a rare flicker of pride in her eyes. Torin clapped her shoulder, his gruff voice soft. "Good call, boss." The jungle closed around them as they trekked back, the forgotten city, lost once more. Alara felt the weight of her choice, knowledge forsaken, but lives preserved. The heart was gone, its secrets with it. Yet as they walked, the sun sinking into a crimson horizon, she couldn't shake the question, had she saved them, or merely delayed the inevitable? Weeks later, in a dusty tavern on the jungle's edge, Alara sat alone, a glass of cheap rum untouched. The others had gone, Milo to his plants, Kalia to her family, Torin to whatever ghosts he chased. She traced the scar on her arm, a memento of the spike that nearly took her. The map lay crumpled in her pack, useless now, but her mind churned. She'd burned the heart, but its whispers lingered, fragments of what it offered, glimpses of truths she'd never grasp. Had she been weak to destroy it, or strong to let it go? Darius was out there, licking his wounds, plotting his next move. The world turned on, oblivious to the city's fall, its lessons buried. Alara drained the glass, the burn grounding her. She'd chosen life over answers, her team over her obsession. For now, that was enough. But as she stepped into the night, the stars above seemed to watch, and she wondered if the heart's price would find her yet.